Welcome, and I'm Jon Gillin from Silver Sound Guitar, and today we're going to be looking at a very basic exercise and 3 variations on it that's going to help you improve your technique. Now, the start of this exercise is we're just going to use all 4 fingers here. And so what I want to do is I'm going to start here on the 5th fret. You can start higher up on the fretboard if it's easier for you. But the goal is that I'm just going to play one note at a time, and I want just nice, clean tone coming out of each one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the next string and do the same thing. So I'm just playing that 5th fret, then the 6th fret, and then the 7th fret, and then the 8th fret. I'm making sure that I'm using each one of my fingers here for each fret. So the first finger plays all the notes on the 5th fret, the second finger plays all the notes on the 6th fret, the 7th finger, or the third finger plays all the notes on the 7th fret, and then the pinky is going to play all the notes on the 8th fret. What I'm going to do from there is, as I go across the strings, I just want to make sure that I'm playing as close as I can to the fret wire, the metal part there, without going over. And the idea is that it's nice and smooth, it produces a slightly better tone, and you get rid of some of that obnoxious buzzing, this. So what we want to do there instead is the closer I play to that fret wire, the easier it is to eliminate that buzz and get a nice, consistent tone. So here's what I want to do. The first time through, all we're going to do is we're just going to focus on accuracy, making sure each note is picked cleanly. Now, what I like to do is I like to slide up 1 fret to the 9th fret and then play it backwards, starting with my pinky. Now, what I like to do is I like to slide up 1 fret and play it backwards, starting with my pinky. Okay, so that's the whole exercise. Now there's several variations on this exercise that we can do. Okay, so that's the whole exercise. Now there's several variations on this exercise that we can do. And I'm just going to show you 3 right here. Each one has a very specific purpose, and we'll talk about that as we go. The first one is going to do a couple of things for us. It's going to help us keep our fingers close to the fretboard, and then the second thing it's going to do is really force us to be super accurate about which fingers we move and when. So you'll start with the normal 4 fingers. Go ahead and play them on the 6th string. So we go like this. You'll notice though, I'm going to keep my fingers down after every note. Then I've got all 4 fingers placed in position here, and I'm going to move only my first finger, and that goes down to the 5th string. And then I'm going to play that. I want to try to play that note cleanly. I don't want my fingers from the string above to kind of collapse and mute that note at all. Then the next thing I'm going to do is move the next finger. And then the next. And then the next. So you continue this process all the way up the fretboard, moving your fingers one at a time while holding the other ones down on the previous string. Now this exercise is a little bit difficult, but it will yield huge dividends in accuracy and finger control as well as dexterity. So keep that in mind as you're going through it. It's supposed to be slow. You're not supposed to take this one at lightning speed. However, the next variation I'm going to show you here is actually designed to deal with speed. So we're going to isolate just 1 string. In this case, I'm going to make it the 4th string because it's just one of my favorites to use. I'm going to play the same riff, and this time I'm just doing that, and then I'm going to come back to this. So the idea is that I'm working on building my speed in one place. And so you'll notice all all I'm doing is going up, and then I land on the next note. If you're working with a metronome, and which you probably should, this is effectively 16th notes. So we should be thinking 1 E and 2 is basically the idea. Or however you count your 16th notes. That's going to be your goal. So again, I'm staying on one string. A slight variation on this variation, we can slide up 1 fret, like this. So you end up with 1 E and 2 E and I like to stop at the end of a beat. I like to stop at the end of a beat because that way it allows me to make sure that I'm right on point when I land on that next downbeat. Okay, and then the final one here that I'm going to show you is going to be designed to help you change strings more efficiently. Let's take a look. I'm starting at basically the same place on the 4th string, but really what I'm going to focus is that transition to the 3rd string. This is a place that catches a lot of people when they're playing. Just making sure that they're getting a nice smooth transition to the next string. The other place that you might find some trouble with is on the 1st and 2nd strings. 2nd string going to 1st string. So what I recommend here is just focus on the transition itself. It's really easy to get caught up in just playing the whole exercise. Don't focus on playing the whole exercise so much as making that transition to the next note. Once you're comfortable with that, you can always add a 3rd string into it. So for example, I can transition to this string and then add a 3rd string transition. So when you're trying to pick up speed, it's really helpful to work out the string transitions. And what this does is this helps you transition strings. It doesn't matter whether you're playing scales, you're playing a riff, or just this exercise and trying to play this faster. So those are 3 variations on a very popular 4-finger exercise. Keep in mind that it's best to use this with a metronome. That way you know exactly how fast you're playing and you can mark your progress. That's always going to be a recommendation from us. Anyway, again, I'm Jon Gillin from Silver Sound Guitar, and we'll see you next time.